Welcome to CBSE English Tutorial, a visual guide.
South Africa is a country located at the southern tip of the African continent. It is known for its rich cultural diversity, natural beauty, and valuable mineral resources. However, for many years, the country suffered under a system called Apartheid, where racial discrimination was legally enforced. The white minority government denied basic rights to the black majority population. This system created deep divisions, injustice, and suffering among the people. Nelson Mandela was one of the greatest leaders in the fight against apartheid. Born in 1918, he became actively involved in the struggle for equality and justice. Today, we explore one of the most powerful chapters in world history, Nelson Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom. This is not just the story of a man, but the story of a nation's struggle, sacrifice, courage, and ultimate victory over injustice. Let us journey through the historic events and powerful ideas that shaped modern South Africa. Inauguration Day, the 10th of May 1994. On the 10th of May, 1994, a bright and clear day marked the beginning of a new era in South Africa. The ceremony took place at the Union Buildings in Pretoria, a place that once symbolized white supremacy. On this historic day, Nelson Mandela was sworn in as the first black president of democratic South Africa. World leaders and dignitaries gathered in the largest international assembly ever held on South African soil. It was not just a political event, it was the birth of a new nation. Mandela's speech and vision. In his inaugural speech, Mandela expressed deep gratitude and hope. He called the moment a common victory for justice, peace, and human dignity. He pledged to end poverty, suffering, and discrimination. With powerful conviction, he declared that never again would this beautiful land experience the oppression of one by another. His words carried a vision of unity, healing, and reconciliation. Celebrations and symbolism. The celebrations that followed were rich in symbolism. Military jets flew overhead, displaying the colors of the new national flag, a sign of transformation. The armed forces saluted Mandela, symbolizing loyalty to democracy instead of division. Most touching of all, two national anthems were sung, one by black South Africans and one by white South Africans. For the first time, voices once divided sang together as one nation. Reflection on the past. Mandela did not forget the painful past. He reflected on the early 20th century, when racial domination took root. Apartheid had created one of the most inhumane societies in the world. Yet, he honored the countless unnamed heroes whose sacrifices made freedom possible. Their suffering paved the way for this historic moment. The true wealth of South Africa. South Africa is rich in gold, diamonds, and natural resources. But Mandela believed the country's greatest wealth was not beneath the soil. It was its people. He celebrated leaders like Oliver Tambo and Walter Sisulu, whose moral courage inspired generations. For Mandela, true greatness lay in human strength and character. Definition of courage and love. Mandela redefined courage. He said courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Even during his long imprisonment, small acts of kindness reminded him of humanity's goodness. He firmly believed that if people can be taught to hate, they can also be taught to love. This belief sustained him through years of suffering. Mandela's evolving understanding of freedom. Mandela's understanding of freedom evolved over time. As a child, freedom meant playing in the fields and enjoying simple joys. As a young man, he desired personal freedom, to study, to travel, to live independently. But as an adult, he realized that true freedom cannot exist if others are oppressed. Freedom must belong to all, or it belongs to none. Twin obligations and the cost of freedom. Mandela believed every person has twin obligations, one to family and one to the community. Under apartheid, It became impossible to fulfill both. He was forced to choose between personal comfort and the struggle for justice. He chose his people, even at the cost of his own freedom. For 27 years, he endured imprisonment for the sake of equality. Freedom for all. Oppressor and oppressed Mandela declared that freedom is indivisible. No one is truly free until everyone is free. Even the oppressor, he said, is imprisoned, trapped by hatred, prejudice, and fear. True liberation must free both the oppressed and the oppressor. Only then can a nation truly heal. Let us watch the same in a visual presentation.
No talking in the queue! Eyes forward!
Keep it orderly. Yes, boss.
How much longer must we wait?
No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin, or his background, or his religion. If people can learn to hate, they can be taught to love, for love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. When I was young, I thought that freedom consisted in doing what I want or earning my keep. But when my people are not free, how can I be really free?
Mandela, we need you to lead us.
I am here. We will march together peacefully.
Keep moving, no resistance. Through the gates, now. I accept this with peace. A man who takes away another man's freedom is a prisoner of hatred. He is locked behind the bars of prejudice and narrow-mindedness. It was this desire for the freedom of my people to live their lives with dignity and self-respect that animates my life. It is enough to reassure me and keep me going, because man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. Finally, the day has come for the freedom of my people.
You're free to go free. Long live freedom! Long live freedom! Amanda, long live freedom!
I pledge to obey and uphold the Constitution and to devote myself to the well-being of the Republic and its people. Today, all of us do, by our presence here, confer glory and hope to newborn liberty. Out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long, must be born a society of which all humanity will be proud. We, who were outlaws not so long ago, have today been given the rare privilege to be host to the nations of the world on our own soil. We thank all of our distinguished international guests for having come to take possession with the people of our country of what is after all a common victory for justice, for peace, for human dignity. We have at last achieved our political emancipation. We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people from the continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender, and other discrimination. Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. The sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. Let freedom reign. God bless Africa. Dear children, I have learned that courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. In life, every man has twin obligations. Obligations to his family, to his parents, to his wife and children, and he has an obligation to his people, his community, his country. In South Africa, a man who tried to fulfill his duty to his people was inevitably ripped from his family and his home and was forced to live a life apart. I am no more virtuous or self-sacrificing than the next man. It is from these comrades that I learned the meaning of courage. We need more of the Oliver Tambos, the Walter Sissulus, the Yusuf Dadus, the Bram Fishers, the Robert Sobukwes to lead our country forward. How can we follow their example?
By standing up for what's right.
Let freedom reign. God bless Africa. I am not truly free if I am taking away someone else's freedom. The oppressed and the oppressor alike are robbed of their humanity.
Today, we are going to understand the important literary devices used in the chapter Nelson Mandela, A Walk to Freedom. These literary devices make Mandela's speech powerful, emotional, and unforgettable. They help us understand not just the words, but the depth of his thoughts and feelings. Let us explore them one by one. The first literary device is metaphor. A metaphor is a direct comparison between two things without using the words like or as. It helps us understand abstract ideas in a vivid way. For example, Mandela describes South Africa as a rainbow gathering of different colors and nations. Here, the word rainbow represents unity in diversity. Different colors symbolize different races living together peacefully. Another example is the seat of white supremacy. Here, seat represents power and control. Through metaphors, Mandela beautifully explains complex political realities in simple yet powerful language. The next device is personification. Personification gives human qualities to abstract ideas or non-living things. Mandela speaks about newborn liberty. Here, liberty or freedom is described as a newborn baby. This suggests that freedom has just been born and needs care, protection, and nurturing. He also refers to the land and sky as if they are witnesses to the historic event. This gives a sense that even nature is participating in the celebration. Personification makes the speech emotional and lively. The next literary device is imagery. Imagery creates pictures in the reader's mind through descriptive language. Mandela mentions a chevron of Impala jets. This creates a clear visual image of fighter planes flying in formation. He also talks about the display of military might. This helps us imagine the grand parade and the strength of the nation. Imagery allows us to see the inauguration ceremony as if we are present there. Now let us look at repetition. Repetition means repeating words or phrases for emphasis. Mandela says, never, never, and never again shall it be. By repeating the word never, he strongly emphasizes that oppression will not return. This repetition makes the speech powerful, emotional, and memorable. The next device is symbolism. Symbolism means using objects or words to represent deeper meanings. For example, chains symbolize slavery and oppression. Similarly, colors symbolize the different races of South Africa. Through symbols, Mandela expresses ideas about equality, freedom, and unity without directly stating them. Another important device is antithesis. Antithesis is the contrast of opposite ideas in one sentence. Mandela says, it requires such depths of oppression to create such heights of character. Here, depths and heights are opposite ideas. This contrast shows how suffering helped build strength and character. Antithesis adds balance and power to his speech. Next is transferred epithet. This device occurs when an adjective is transferred from the person it actually describes to something else. For example, the phrase, watching world. The world itself is not watching. The people in the world are watching. This device makes the expression more poetic and impactful. The final device is onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia refers to words that imitate natural sounds. For example, the word roar. Such sound words make the description more realistic and vivid. In conclusion, Nelson Mandela's speech is not just politically important. It is also rich in literary beauty. Through metaphor, personification, imagery, repetition, symbolism, antithesis, transferred epithet, and onomatopoeia. Mandela transforms a political speech into a powerful piece of literature. That is why this chapter remains inspiring even today.
Thank you for watching. See you again in a bit.